owner of Carved in Stone Cemetery Preservation Services. And I've been working on cemeteries over 10 years, and it has led to why we're here today. So we clean, we reset, and it has become such a passion for us. And y'all probably wondering how in the world did Dawn ever find her way from Hatteras Island to Southport? Well, in 1919, my great-grandfather was lighthouse keeper out here with Captain Charlie until 1932 when he died of a heart attack in the lantern room. And so years, the family went back to Hatteras, my grandmother and so on, my dad. And years later, in 2005, my dad had spoken so much of Southport, and he wanted to go to Ballhead one last time, being old. And so on Valentine's Day, we took a trip to Ballhead Island, and I met Southport for the first time. I fell in love. So I've been coming back, and this cemetery is like number 2 on my list. Besides the one on my home property, this is number 2. So we're really glad to be here. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Bob, Southport Historical Society, for getting us here. They share the same passion, just wanting to preserve it. So, okay. This is only the second class. Do we call the first one? We tried this morning, and buckets of rain happened in the middle of class. So I told everybody this morning, y'all are my first class on cemetery stone cleaning. So be gentle, be patient with me. Okay, so what I have here, I'm going to hand out everyone a gravestone do and don't list. And excuse them, they're a little bit. Are y'all together? Yeah. And we're going to go over this. And it's what we have found through research. And did you?
I got one.
Y'all are good.
We're overachievers.
That's awesome. I like overachievers. That's good. Okay, so number 1 on the list.
Copy your homework.
Do no harm to the cemetery or gravestone you are cleaning. Always leave the area better than you found it. Remove trash and debris. And that's the number 1 thing with us. Anything new we attempt, any questions we have, we always research before we touch a stone. And that's just so important, because people think stone a lot of time, and they think it's strong, it's a stone, but with age they become very brittle. And it varies per type of stone. So, yeah, and number 2, do not clean a stone without receiving permission from family or caretaker of cemetery before proceeding. Always check your state laws. I know, like me, sometimes you see a beautiful stone and you're like, I really want to clean it. But you do have to have permission from the family. If it's your own family, yes, you're free to do it. Now, as far as cemeteries, this is what town-owned cemeteries. But on Hatteras, we have a lot of cemeteries in people's yards. Small ones, family-owned. And, the natives, they move away, their children with generations, and then other people from outside buy the properties, and they may not want you crossing their property. So you can go to your local courthouse, and there are options through a judge to have access. But you just have to know your laws, your state laws, and they are online before you go into a cemetery. Find out what you're walking into. So number 3, survey the stone for stability and deterioration issues before cleaning. If it moves, leave the stone alone. And that is one of the things with us. Stability in the stone and your safety and the stone safety. A couple weeks ago down in Georgia, there was a little girl that climbed up on a monument, a granite monument, and it fell over on her. Some of you may have seen the report, and it literally crushed from here up. When you're talking something like a granite stone, especially a thick stone, it can be 120, 130 pounds per cubic foot. So when you're cleaning, if you go up to a stone and you sit down and say, I'm going to clean this, and it's wobbly, that can come down on you. Okay, so we're going to actually take a tour in a little bit, and I'm going to show you some of these things so y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so number 4, if there are signs of sugaring, flaking, fractures, do not clean the stone. Once again, when we take our tour, I'll show you examples of those, okay? Number 5, never use a power washer on any stone. It is like sandblasting it. Can cause years of surface deterioration immediately. This is especially true on older stones. And Dave can vouch for this one. We were in a cemetery, had been working there for several days cleaning stones. And it's a larger cemetery on Hatteras Island. And there was a man who lived next door. And he saw what we were doing. I guess he wanted to do his own families. So here he came with extension cords, garden hose, and turned the power washer on high and aimed it. That can chip the stone. It's literally like sandblasting. It does years of damage immediately. And David was looking at me, and I was just clenching because I know you're gonna. I got up and nicely went over and said, you know, I tried to educate him, and he said, well, I won't do the letters. I'll just do the sides. But you know. But yeah, please y'all don't use power washers. Now we do use, you'll see it over here when we go to do the example stones I'm gonna clean for y'all. We have battery operated garden sprayers from Ace Hardware. You can also get them online. They can do a very fine stream, or you can just get the hand pump. If you're gonna do multiple stones, you will want to purchase something like this. They run about 80 bucks a piece, but it saves your hand and your energy. It's really handy to have, okay? So number 6, do not use bleach or household chemicals on stones. Many are highly alkaline, the pH of 13, and can eat away at the stone from the inside out. And this is so true. What we're using today is the D2 biological solution. So who doesn't have one at the end of class, come by the table and pick one up, and it will explain it. One thing though about this sheet, it all sounds good. They're like, you know, just spray and forget some of it. But where we live, we have to reset. Where a lot of stones lift them up out of the ground. We have a harsh environment, and we do rinse them down. You know, we even have a brush sometimes. We'll go on the letters or go around the base and get what debris is loose before we rinse the stone of sand. You don't want nothing that's going to agitate the surface of the stone. So, dollar store, not expensive. A lot of this stuff is not expensive. Okay, so let's see. Number 7, use only soft bristle brushes. Do not scrub the stone. Let the D2 do its work. It does usually take several weeks for you to get the full effect. Dave and I yesterday, where'd it go? Right behind you. We cleaned it yesterday. I don't know when the last time some of you were in here, but the back side closest to the trees was a lot darker than the front side. That's more away and gets the light. But so you give this even a week, it's going to be a lot lighter in color. The D2 penetrates the pores and it kills all that biomatter that's in there. And it can also be used on the cement, like down below. It can be used on various limestones, granite, limestone, marble, sandstone. So various purposes. Number 8, gently clip or remove vines from stone. Never yank them. Their roots could be deep within the stone. Removing them harshly can do much damage. And this is so true. Once again, I keep stressing the older stones. It can also happen with your newer stones. We have found where the seals that the headstone itself, what we call the die, and then you have your base, the seal has over time just disintegrated. And vines come up and they work their way in between the stones. You start yanking or pulling. So literally, little Fisher scissors, clippers, you know, just dollar store scissors. That's fine too. clip that vine in sections. Wear gloves. We have a lot of poison oak, poison ivy around down home. Imagine y'all do too. Just get you something like that and clip them in sections. Okay, number 9. Never use wire brushes or wire scrapers on the stone. To remove lichens, and I'll show you a stone over here that what lichens are. Use only plastic scrapers to remove them. And you'll wet a stone down, let the water sit there a few minutes, let those lichens get soft. Plastic putty knife, Ace Hardware, you know, online, Amazon, and you'll be able to get them off with that. So, okay. Number 10, only clean stones that are in dire need of preservation. We all like to see a pretty clean stone, but if it just has a little bit of surface, you know, dirt or whatever, just rinse it off with a wet hose. But as far as cleaning the surface with your brush, you want to do this as little as possible, because every time you clean the stone, you're removing some of that surface layer on it. So, you know, just the ones that are really dark, like have black, what looks like mold on it, or dark algae, or some that are almost chestnut brown with the tannin from the trees. Okay? So, okay, and this goes, number 11 goes for granite. And we have learned that when we clean granite markers, as soon as we're done, we take a soft white cloth, nothing that has fabric softener in it, like laundered in it, and just dry the stone. It'll help with the streaking. You don't really have to worry about it with the marble as far as water's concerned. When you're working like with marble or that kind of thing, as far as streaking, when we're cleaning those, the erect ones, we always start at the bottom, you know, and do it like down there. This part, we started at the bottom of this and worked up as far as the cleaning. So, just little tips, and I tell people to go online, do your research, but be careful where you research. Association for Gravestone Studies, I'm a member, and they are a wonderful resource. You know, if you want to get further in this, definitely check them out, okay? And they do, if y'all are on Facebook, they have a Facebook page, okay? Number 12, contact a professional if in doubt of any of the above. If you're out somewhere, you're just like, I don't know what to do. You know, she said this, but is this really what we should do? After class, I have my cards up here. You know, you can put me in your contact list. Send me a photo. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. You can email, you can call. Okay, we're here to help y'all go out in the community and help preserve it. Okay, so happy to do it. Okay, so Liz, we can go for the tour if they want to put their stuff down like you had them.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody has any more stuff, but you can put it under the coffee or the